What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. Alright, so before I get into this video, I want to give a shout out to the brother Drayshawn Anderson for the $10 donation via the Cash App. Much respect to him for showing love to Too Raw for TV, aka Too Raw for Sports. Alright, so I got a question. And the question is Lou Williams, who recently retired after 17 years in the NBA, is he the greatest sixth man ever? Well, I mean, it depends on what you're looking at. It depends on the person. It depends on what you're looking at. Lou Williams, I guess, has a case. He's won that award, Defensive Player of the Year, 3 times. More than anybody else with the exception of Jamal Crawford, who won it 3 times himself. And Lou Williams has the distinction of holding the record for most points coming off the bench in the history of the NBA, at least since they've been tracking these things. So he has a case. So, if someone thinks he's the greatest sixth man, okay, I can understand that, I guess. But I don't think he's the greatest sixth man. That award has only been around since, the early to mid-1980s. And Lou Williams never won a championship. Jamal Crawford, like I said, won the award just as many times. And doesn't he share the record with, what is it? Doesn't he share the record with, is it Bernard King and Wilt? With most 50-point games scored with different teams, 3 different teams or something like that. So, there are other candidates. I would also put up there, as far as great sixth man in the history of the NBA, Vinnie Johnson with the Detroit Pistons, Michael Cooper with the Lakers, John Starks with the Knicks, Detlef Schrempf with the Pacers, Ricky Pierce with the Bucks, Frank Ramsey was the first real actual six man in the history of the NBA, although I wouldn't say he's the greatest. Manu Ginobili, who could have been a starter, great six man, on the bench for all those years for the Spurs. Trying to think if there's anybody I'm forgetting. Before I say who I think is the greatest, Dell Curry. Steph's father was a great six man for the Charlotte Hornets for so many years. Tony Kukoc was a great six man. But in my opinion, the greatest six man in the history of the NBA is John Havlicek. Because I'm trying to think how many times he would have won that award had it existed back in the 50s and 60s. How many times we have won that award? Multiple times, more than 3 goddamn times. And, ultimately he went on to become one of the great players in the history of the NBA. Oh, another six-man, too, is Kevin McHale. Kevin McHale was a six-man before he became a starter around 84, 85. So that's another guy. But I would give it to John Havlicek. You could argue that Lou Williams scored more points coming off the bench. I think altogether he had 15,000 points, but Hondo scored 26,000, all-time leader for the Celtics, still in scoring. I think he's the all-time leader in games played for the Celtics, 1,270. Higher career scoring average. Won 8 championships Lou Williams hasn't won a championship. I think he won Finals MVP in 1974. I think it was 74. I think it was 74. One of those years he won Finals MVP. And had that award existed in the 60s, from before 69, he probably would have won it at least one other time. So, to me, the greatest sixth man of all time is John Havlicek. That's just my opinion. But you don't have to have that opinion. But that's just mine. But tell me who you think is the greatest sixth man of all time.